Hey, Ma. Oh, my goodness. 20 years. 20 years of doing this? Oh, my goodness. I don't know how you do it. Listen, congratulations to you, Mom. Listen, this is just an amazing feat. This is not for the faint or the weak, and you continue to prove that Sunday after Sunday. 20 years of pastoring, 20 years of mothering, 20 years of nurturing, 20 years of folks calling the house, 20 years of folks turning their backs, 20 years is not just a number to just bat an eye at. And I want to commend you and give you your flowers because 20 years of doing this just real significant to me. You started doing this at a pivotal time in our culture and the church where women weren't really viewed as being in the pulpit or held as popular in that regard. And you took that mantle by storm by going against the grain and going with the mantra of preaching holiness. And I think that's one thing that's really dope and has been consistent about you for 20 years, whereas you never shied away or veered away from holiness and from doing the way God intended it to be done. And what's dope about 20 for me to you, Ma, is if you look in the word, a lot of times when we talk about 20 years, it's about oppression. It's about time of waiting. It's a period that we're waiting for the finished product of something. A couple instances is Solomon built the house and built the palace. 20-year time frame before that was deemed completed. 20 years of Jacob. He's serving and he's trying to make sure he get his wives and everything before he can even be released to not only his wives but the property as well from his father-in-law. And what I love about those years is that's when you actually learn that maturity and you come into that seasonality of who you are. That's when you can start to say that you're mature. If you even think about it, you can't even drink or anything until you're 21. There's a lot of things that you're not legal to do in the world until you're 21. You know, the world always trying to one up God is 20, but whatever. But what's really dope also about this 20 is if you look at the time that Abraham was talking to God, and he was asking God to spare Sodom and Gomorrah. And he started at 45. He was very humble until he got to number 20. He was like, okay, at 45, hey, if I can find 45, God, please, let me beg of thee. Can you please not, can you just spare the city? Then he was like, all right, if you can find 30, willest thou allow us to continue with thee forth? But when he hit 20, he said, if I dare speak, and that's where it kind of stuck out and struck a chord for me. At 20 is when he said, if I dare speak to you, Father, will you spare it? And then again, he went on, he said, okay, one more time. If you can give me 10, if I can find 10, we good. And God said, we good. And then he left. But it was something about that pivotal point at 20 that his faith kind of spoke up a little bit more, where he said, okay, if you dare speak, and I think that's with you, if you dare speak and going through what you've been going through for 20 years of ministry, 20 years of sacrifice, 20 years of even losing time with the family, with the babies, with us, and taking on other babies as your own, and then still standing here 20 years later. Notice what I said a little bit earlier, that trial, that time frame of getting to the finished product of seeing both palace and and the holy house that Solomon built being complete. Think about what you did. You got a little Solomonish going on. You've built two palaces. Not talking about the house, not talking about 341 Paxton. Talking about where we started at True Spirit, the first one, and now where we are in the second one. And now you're reaching the pivotal point of 20 years at the second place where God says, as long as the people won't leave, I won't condemn this place. And you're still doing that. You're on to something. I see you, Mama. I see you. You're on to something. But I want to encourage you, Mom, just to let you know I love you. I appreciate you. Even throughout the 20 years of your own children not listening and heeding to holiness and living the way God instructed us to, you kept strong and kept regarding to, as long as I train my children in the way that they should go, when they old and they go through all they go through and they bump their head a few times, they're going to come back to the Lord. They're going to do what God told them to do. And here we are 20 years seeing our mom pastor and take on other people as her own children. Thank you. I think that's something that speaks volumes, that folks can't just walk into a pulpit and say, I want a pastor today. Listen, this thing comes with a mantle, it comes with a mandate, and it comes with a dedication that just can't be trifled with. Just can't be trifled with. And one thing's for certain, Mama, you ain't one to be trifled with. So thank you so much for being the example, for being the light, for being Ma through it all, and continuing on even when it seemed fitting to put down the mantle, even when it seemed fitting to take a step back. You continue to lean forward. Even when your voice was stifled, you still moan and groaned in anguish for us. And thinking again through that 20 years, when he was asking, or when Abraham was asking, if I can find 20 people, don't destroy the city. You've done that, and you continue to do that even today. If I can find 10 men, if I can find 20 women, if I can find 35, if I can find 40, you're doing that, and you're asking on our behalf when we don't even know any better. God, spare them, spare the city, spare the babies, give them some more time to get it together. So I thank God for you doing that for 20 years and for continuing to do that every single night that you pray for everybody that you encounter and that you touch, and for people who don't even know that you're praying for them, even when they feel like you're not. They have no idea, and I see that and I know that. So thank you, Ma. I'm gonna turn this thing off before I get like pops and my eyes get to sweating and stuff. I love you. Have an amazing day. Listen, enjoy your day. Take this moment and just take a second and just say, God, I thank you, and take your bow, girl. You listen. I know I'm sounding like pops right now. Take your bow. Listen, go on, you pretty black thing. Go, that's what he gonna say. I guarantee he said today. Let this pretty black thing. Mama, I love you. Wish we could be there, but wish you nothing but the best, and hoping that you have an amazing and the dopest anniversary ever. God bless you.